Let me go to the second item, which was a press statement which was released by the Bari community, by the Bari chairman, Honorable Stephen Lago. That press statement was released on the 30th of December 2022. It was in response to a press statement that was released on the 26th of December 2022. Basically, the statement which was released, I don't know if I shared it with you. That statement was basically entitled "A Statement on Engagement with NAS Rebels." And let me read it so that at least you are on the same wavelength with us. That statement read as follows. On Christmas Eve, On Reki was ambushed by NAS rebels near Marcaro Islands in Mangala Payam, Juba County of Central Equatorial State. To ensure the faithfuls celebrate the festive season in peace, mobile infantry units stormed NAS bases, resulting in neutralization of 5 rebels and the recovery of 30 rounds for 82mm mortar round, and that the NAS base was captured. And after it was captured, we discovered it had around 1,000 foxholes or trenches. Yani ndio haja zi 1,000 Canadic that were dug on the island. Then the statement went on to, that's this statement from SSPDF. Finally, SSPDF would like to reassure or assure the people of South Sudan that our own forces are still carrying out offensive operations to flush out NAS rebels on several islands they have been occupying between Juba and Mangala. That was the statement that I had released on the 26th of December 2020 in my capacity as the spokesperson of the SSPDF. And that was after consultations with the Chief of Defense Forces and the Assistant Chief of Defense Forces for Operations, Lieutenant General Toichairet. That text was agreed upon based on the facts that I have read. Now, in response to that statement on the 30th, the Bari community, under the leadership of Honorable Stephen Lago, released a statement entitled "A Statement on the Mangala Crisis." The document was 5 pages long. It talked about a number of issues, mostly detailing recurrent clashes between armed Bari youth, starting all the way from southern Bari, Lulubo, up to here around Mangala. They basically gave a detailed account of how it all started between different Bari youth with Dinkabur cattle herders. I want to concentrate on what was touching on the Dinkabur cattle herders. What was happening between Dinkabur cattle herders and armed Bari youth is not my issue. But I'm picking out on what touched on the SSPDF. One, the areas that touched on us, and these are the areas that I'm responding to after consultations and directives from the Chief of Defense Forces, General Santino Denwall, and the Assistant Chief of Defense Forces for Operations, Lieutenant General Toichairet. These are the 4 areas that were pointed out by the chairperson of Bari community. 1, Bari community accused SSPDF of labeling them as NAS rebels. 2, Bari community chairperson called for withdrawal of SSPDF forces deployed on both eastern and western banks of Bahr el-Jabal, which is commonly known or locally known as Superior River. 3rd, the Bari community chairperson called for an investigation of SSPDF spokesperson, who is me, for releasing what they are termed as discriminatory, irresponsible, the spelling here is wrong, irresponsible, baseless, and unproven statement. And that the statement we are released was based on political influence of the leadership of the Nkabur Cataladas. Fourth, that we had shelled islands that are being inhabited by indigenous Bari community in order to tilt power, balance of firepower in favor of the Nkabur Cataladas. These are the four accusations that were directed at SSPDF by the Bari community chairperson. After consultations and putting our heads together, we said before we could respond, we would like to ask the following four fundamental questions. And these four fundamental questions requires satisfactory answers from the chairperson of Bari community. One, who ambushed our Reiki squad on Christmas Eve? Was our squad ambushed by armed Bari youth or NAS rebels? Question number two, after we engaged the NAS rebels, we were able to recover between 15 to 30 shells for 82 millimeter mortar, Hawan, on one of the islands. Do the armed youth from Bari community own this mortar? That's another fundamental question. Secondly, we were able to find foxholes or defensive trenches dug on one of the islands. The other question is, were those foxholes or defensive trenches dug by armed youth from Bari community or by NAS rebels? Third, on the 14th of December 2022, two boats belonging to a businessman named Wangat Kik were attacked between Kondogoro Islands and Mangala. In those attacks, 4 people were killed and 3 wounded. The question is, who attacked those boats? Armed Bari youth or NAS rebels? The same last year, a Chinese working for ARC road construction company and a soldier from SSPDF that was escorting or providing security to the road construction workers were ambushed and shot dead along Juba-Terekeka Road. The million-dollar question is, who killed that foreigner? Armed Bari youth or NAS rebels? These are the 4 fundamental questions that we would like the Honorable Chairperson of Bari community, Honorable Stephen Fetia Lago, to give us satisfactory answers. Because he had denied our version of events based on proper intelligence we had received from our intelligence officers. In our response to the areas, one is that we in the SSPDF do not favor any of our communities anywhere in the Republic of South Sudan. You know where there are fightings, communal clashes, starting with clashes here in central Equatoria, recurrent clashes between armed Bari youth and cattle herders from Bor. We do not favor them. Instead, to bring it closer home, after the president issued a Republican order directing for cattle herders to be escorted back to their original places, we provided escort. We in the SSPDF provided escort all the way to the Nkabur cattle herders so that they go back to their places of origin. We did the same to cattle herders from Terekeka, Mundari. They were provided escort and went back to their places of origin. And even His Excellency the President complied with the demand from the Bari community for cattle cattle to be withdrawn from their land, and as a result, he transported back his cattle to his homeland. So this is an indication that it is untrue for us to be accused of having favored Dinkabur cattle herders in their fight with Bari youth. On the withdrawal of SSPDF forces, these are response. On the call for SSPDF forces to be withdrawn from both sides of Bahar al-Jabal, it is purely and primarily the business and the prerogative of the Chief of Defense Forces and other commanders under his command to decide on when and where to deploy forces anywhere in the Republic of South Sudan based on prevailing security threats. It is not a business of a given community leader to come, call media outlets, and tell them we are demanding for a withdrawal of the National Army from a given piece of land anywhere in the Republic. If there are any reasons for the forces, if there are issues arising from the deployment of the forces, like he had said, some of the forces deployed there, he had generalized it, that they are causing insecurity. I believe if there are cases of insecurity being posed by forces deployed on both sides of the river, then there must have been individual cases, and there's a remedy. Whenever you misbehave as an individual soldier deployed at any given area, we go surgical. We identify the person who is causing problems and is held accountable. So it is not the business of the chairperson of Mandari community to call for a withdrawal of SSPDF forces anywhere in Bari land or any given community leader. Third, based on the statement I read, if you had captured it very well, and I will still go ahead share it with you on your WhatsApp. We in the SSPDF General Headquarters, they are not labeled the Bari community as NAS rebels. In the statement which I had signed, I made it very clear, we made it very clear that there are some islands between Juba and Mangala that are being inhabited by NAS, that there is presence of NAS on some of the islands. We did not say members of the Bari community that are staying in some of those islands are NAS rebels. Fourth, he had accused us of shelling islands that are being inhabited by civilians from the Bari community. We are saying no. After our Reka was ambushed, reinforcements were sent. We engaged those who had ambushed our security personnel, pursued them, and we ended up shelling them where they had hit on the island. If they were not NAS rebels that ambushed our security forces, and then now it is very crystal clear that they were armed Bari youth. And in any case, even if you don't have that level of being a rebel, if you go around attacking military personnel as they go about their business on the roads, as they go about their patrols, vehicular patrols or foot patrols, you go about attacking them, and then you are considered as an hostile armed element that deserves to be neutralized, regardless of getting a label as a rebel. So if they were the Bari youth that had ambushed our security personnel that were doing patrols on Christmas Eve, then they are guilty of attacking the National Army. Fifth, which is the last point, now that the Bari leadership, especially the one under the leadership of Honorable Stephen Petia Lako, we in the SSPDF General Headquarters are calling and demanding for a joint fact-finding mission and verification team to be sent to some of the islands where we discovered foxholes and defensive trenches as well as show them the mortar shells we have recovered after our engagement with NAS rebels. So that they tell us for sure, NAS al-Afro Kanadik, dama NAS bita NAS. Demo the Shabab al-Musalain bita Bari. Lanu, Anna, for the first time for me to come to Greater Equatoria, I came here in 1991. My first area of deployment was Kapoita. I came around Juba here, July 1992. I was based in southern Bari, to be specific, in Kurkitu, at the headquarters of late John Kung. And I was again redeployed here in 2003, in the whole of Greater Equatoria. And up to now, I've been in and out of Greater Equatoria for the last 31 years, in and out of Greater Equatoria. I had worked in Magri as the head of NCOs. I had worked in Mogiri as Deputy Chief for Administration, 2010, worked in in Eastern Equatoria, 2009 as Chief for Administration, 2012 I was Chief for Administration in Yambia. I have never come across any base being owned by civilians where trenches are dark. Anama Shuptu is a new development. Wama asali mani shuptu musalahin in any given community for Eastern Equatoria State, they are owning motor in either Hawanat. This is a new development. فلو مواطنين العام youth بتاع باري ومن وصل في درجة تسلية بتاعهم بيجي عندهم حيوانات, then is a new development. لو وصل في درجة بيجي بعفروا كنادك, and then is a new military tactic. That must be at least so that we get to know. But otherwise, if we went to other communities, we know other communities in South Sudan, they are heavily armed. Telgandum Pikamat, Baginza to into Tualfat, we know. Lakin is a new development for Bari. For this is the end of my briefing regarding what has been happening. Otherwise, under any other business, under any AOB, the floor is open for you to ask your questions, answers, and the AOB, you can touch on anything that is relevant to your work as a journalist.